or we would admit it student state. Pink Floyd's Have a Cigar came on the radio. The opening verses are, come in here, dear boy, have a cigar. You're going to go far. You're going to fly high. You're never going to die. You're going to make it if you try. You're going to love it. And I think the fact that I'm speaking here really shows that I am loved. And I thank you all for this opportunity again. At the time, it was full of students. I mean, we had to sit on the floor during our mandatory meetings. It was so full, in fact, when we had faculty advisor dinner, I had to go sit at a table by myself because the table with Professor Marshall was full. And the dean came over and asked me, well, why are you sitting by yourself? I said, well, this is the leprosy table. So, full of ABA accreditation just seemed almost eminent, and even if it wasn't, we were told we'd be grandfathered in. Yeah, that was right. So what happened next? Mass exodus of students. We lost a lot of people, a lot of good talent. But we soldiered on anyway, and this brought in the incoming class of 2011. Many of them are here today, and you guys are the biggest risk takers ever. I came into a school with no accreditation, with seemingly there's nowhere to move, but the gambles paid off, I think. We got the provisional accreditation back, and I think we're moving to great strides. You guys brought in new leaders, full of strength, vigor, innovation, and a chip on your shoulder, not thinking you're entitled, but that we had something to prove. And I think with you guys, as well as our high bar pass rate this last July, and I have high hopes for the February takers, that we have proven that we can prove ourselves. They've shortened semesters on us, they've added more assignments, they've eliminated dead weekend. Every time they did something, we met their challenge and we succeeded. What am I doing? This shows us the difference between rats and captains. Rats flee from a sinking ship. They're cowardly, they're weak, they can't lead. Captains stay aboard until the ship is sunk. And this ship has not sunk. It has changed course. With the work of interim dean hockey and current dean Holmes, the faculty and the staff, I think we are on the right course, so that way people one day will go, oh, you went to Laverne? That's a pretty good school. I think we'll get there, Dean. Many of you did not attend law school, and I would really like to give you a brief summary of what it was like. My first class was contracts with none other than Professor Marshall. Professor Marshall actually really is one of the greatest, if not the best asset that this law school has to offer. If you'd like to know what contracts was like that first year, just watch the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan. So much more watered down version, but it's pretty much the same. Can we make the man happy one more time and give him restatement 24? Can we do that, everyone? Yes. Let's start it. What is an offer? Manifestation of willingness to enter the market. So may. Come on. You guys all need that, guys. I tried. I'll fail in sales. All right. So in torts, we learned that insane delusion is an appropriate defense to auto negligence. You guys remember that case? The woman who thought she was Batman and ended up wrecking her car? Yeah, if you think you're Batman, just check yourself into Arkham Asylum. Criminal procedure taught us that the police do not need a warrant to look at the junk in your trunk. Business organizations taught us that you could be lousy at your job and still walk away with $100 million. Real property, at least those that had Rourke, learned about Thunderdome and the one survived. We learned something about the Barry Bonds record-breaking home run. I don't know what lesson that was. And we learned most importantly that Professor Rourke was a monster and was quite proud of it. Oh, he is. Civil procedure, we had two very important cases. The sexiest case in all of law school, international hosiery, and shoot. That's about it. something we don't like. Then suddenly someone has to be fired, lose their livelihood, and be burned at the stake. As lawyers, we will have the power to persuade judges to take somebody's job, their property, their money, and we need to be sure to use this power very carefully. People can be jerks. People can have popular, even disgusting ideas and opinions. Make your life a little easier. Just ignore things you don't like. Change the channel. Turn on a different radio station. Walk away. It's a lot easier. Don't ruin it for others who may agree or enjoy this. We need to get back to, I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. Now back to the jokes. Community property. Learn don't get married, or it's cheaper to keep. And there's wills and trusts. Wills and trusts, we learned at the time, most of your parents might remember this. Do you remember the Tylenol cyanide case? It's the largest unsolved mass murder in the history of the United States. And our professor, for some reason, thought this was hilarious. Nobody solved it! We also got reintroduced to fractions. Many of us haven't had that in over 15 years. You! What's 5 7s and 3/8? Come on! This is the part, Jim! I'm going to transition over to a few thank yous, if I may. I'd like to take a brief moment to say thank you to my mother, because she was raised me as a single parent. Probably very difficult. Always make sure I had what I needed, and hopefully soon I'll be able to just take care of her. She won't have to work anymore. Yeah. Of course, a big thank you to the rest of my family for dealing with my negligence and my impatience. Thank you to my co-workers. There's far too many to name, but I've got to name these people out. Carl, Jose, Ken, Mike, and my supervisor, Bob. They covered me for my all-expenses paid trip to the University of Laverne Library during my vacations. My law school support system, Rocky, who isn't here. Without him, 2 and 3 L years would have been much less fun and probably substantially more difficult. Russ, Tiff, Monica, Chris, Andrea, the Wizard, Casey, not to be confused with Miss Ellis, who was also on the list. Bridget, David, Siobhan, Alberto, Nassim, Aaron for consistently dealing with my insanity and is completely okay with it. Jordan, our old student, we'll get back to in a second. Stephanie and Marlene, who made this place substantially more tolerable. Terribly sorry, but I got time for that. So, getting back to what law school is like. Law school is competitive. We are ranked from first to last. They are trying to say, you're the best, you're the worst. But the worst student is still a Juris Doctor in the end. So, don't worry, we'll be the last. Which brings me to our #1 student. Big congratulations to Ms. Jordan Bronk. Speak to me more than in that exchange that she has in the last 3 years. All I can think of at that time was like, good, give in to your anger. Strike me down with all of your hatred, and you have turned to the dark side. I bring this up not only to thank Jordan and get a Star Wars reference in, but also to show what kind of culture we created. Law school is hard work. Hard work demands, there's frustration. Frustration demands catharsis. We vented to each other. We leaned on each other. We protected each other. Whispered answers when someone was in the hot seat. Asked questions and deviated discussion when someone was being destroyed by a professor. We shared outlines, study materials, food, drinks, laughs, and tears. We are united, and as we approach the bar, we will remain so. We need each other. We need to finish this off right. As the 300 did at the Monopoly, protect ourselves and do